We're back. Mayor Bill Peduto is our guest. And in that commercial break, you told me something about Ham's Barbershop on Center Avenue.
It's part of a new redevelopment plan that's been developed by Diamante Walker, who's the Deputy Executive Director of the URA. And instead of going big and looking at all these different parcels that we have, we broke it down and asked the community to give us their input on what should happen. So Big Tom, the barber down on Center Avenue where I get my beard juice, I don't know what you call it. He ended up putting in a proposal to take over Ham's and to restore it and to be able to create affordable housing above it. And this wouldn't have been a proposal in the past that would have gotten too far. And now it looks like it's going to happen.
And it's going to happen. So, and that's a big move for the community as well. But here's the reality. And I know you got some things going on in Belsuver, Sheridan, and you got all these pockets going on. But I got to tell you that, you know, the millennials, the Gen X's, for them, they want it now. They want it to happen today. They feel like a lot of this is taking too long.
Yeah, and I hear that on a daily basis and probably every 10 minutes on Twitter or Facebook. I hear them loud and clear, and it's great to have young people actually at the table to be able to say where they see and where they live in this type of disparity. To the white supporters and allies, I would say, you know, realize your role. And the role is to be there as supporters and not to create an agenda. An agenda has been created over decades. It just has never been at the forefront like it is right now. And then the second thing I would say is find ways to build partnerships. Strategic partnerships are not based on just having people who think alike, but strategic partnerships are based upon being able to cross over and get others to help to be a part of that movement. That's where the great steps happen that the young people are calling for. And I would ask them to be deliberate in their motives in order to be able to have more people want to be a part of their movement.
So does it make it tough? I mean, I know that there is this leadership academy that Evan Frazier and some other folks are doing in cooperation with the folks over at CMU. And I know that there are efforts in place to try to get folks in the C-suites. But at the same time, if the world is hearing that Pittsburgh's not a place for African Americans, how do we change that narrative?
We do it by example, and we do it through any and all leadership throughout. And that means every type of an organization, not just nonprofit organizations. Right now, over 30% of our board positions are filled by Black Pittsburghers. And not only that, but over half are women. Right now, 8 out of 9 members of our planning commission that are designing our city's future are women. Right now, 60% of the URA is Black. And it has been since day one when I took office. These are not positions on smaller boards. These are the positions that control the money and the planning of the city. And you look for the best talent. And if you find the best talent and they happen to be minority or women or people with needs, put them in that power and then show others, especially within the corporate community, that it can succeed. Be the example no matter what organization you're a part of. And if you are a leader of an organization, then you demand it as part of your group as well.
And last question before we let you go, and we only got about 90 seconds left. I mean, we have so much technology here and so many tech companies here. The other thing that often strikes me is when I look at those companies, there's a lot of diversity there, but it's not necessarily African-American diversity. Are there things that we need to do?
I lost you. Your screen froze.
And yours froze with me as well. There you go. You're back. You're back.
Okay.
Did you hear the question?
I heard, are there things we need to do? And that's where it stopped, but with the tech community.
When we look at the tech community, a lot of times the diversity doesn't include African Americans as much as I think it should.
That has to start much earlier than when somebody's applying for a job. That actually has to start as early as not kindergarten, but within elementary school. We created a Rec to Tech program so that we can start teaching our young Pittsburghers how to take a computer apart and rebuild it, how to do coding, beginning in 7th grade at our rec centers. We started and worked with President Obama on the My Brother Keeper program in order to do those same type of opportunities. And we continue to work with My Brother's Keeper. But that again becomes a part of the entire chain. The Googles and Microsofts and Ubers need to be in those rec centers volunteering and helping young Pittsburghers to have opportunities their suburban neighbors don't have.
You know what, Mayor Bill Peduto, I could talk to you for an hour, but we only have a half an hour. So I appreciate you taking the time, answered a lot of questions on a lot of folks' minds. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Lynn. Take good care.
All right, you too. Thanks so much. We'll be back in just a moment and I'll wrap all this up. Don't go away when the Lynne Hayes Freeland Show continues.